Should you pull for Vivian? If you love her design and everything, or have an S-rank Anomaly unit like Jane, Miyabi, Bernice, or hell, even Piper could complement her as well, then yes, you should absolutely pull for Vivian. Always pull for your wives and husband characters, you'll always be 10 times happier regardless of whether they're good or bad. However, if you're on the fence, or she's not exactly your favorite character, and you're worried about the amount of pulls that you have at the moment for future characters to save up for, then maybe skip out on Vivian, but let me explain. On a scale of Anton to Miyabi, a average unit versus a broken one, Vivian is far from Anton's level but just a bit below Miyabi, so she won't exactly be dealing a lot of big damages like Miyabi, but she can do better damage than Anton, most likely. Don't quite expect Vivian to come out to blow up all your enemies easily. She'll need a bit of help, and even more so because unlike the other characters, she really relies on having a good team comp. You may also want to hold off on Vivian if you're low on pulls and want other future characters to come. Once again, Vivian works well if you have another Anomaly unit, so once again, Bernice, Miyabi, Jane, Yanagi, these are all great options. So if you have any of these other characters, then by all means, pull for Vivian if you really want her. If you lack all of these characters, then Piper can be a good, cheaper option instead of having the other characters, but she might not be as good and effective, so don't expect big numbers. If you're a huge fan of Vivian's playstyle, you like the Anomaly type build-up damage gameplay, you can pull for her now and then maybe wait for reruns in the future, but we've already had a few reruns passed already, including Bernice's. Speaking of reruns though, Jane is currently rerunning alongside with Vivian's release, but if I had to say, if you lack both, you're low on pull funds, and you had to choose one of these characters, I would ultimately say get Jane first. She can do a lot more damage out of the box compared to Vivian. Vivian's kind of like a weird off-support DPS character. Don't expect her to do the same amount of damage as, say, Jane or other characters out of the bat. So maybe if you want that big damage right up front, then maybe get Jane instead first. But hey, if you want both characters, then just know that Jane actually does extremely well with Vivian. They're actually paired really well together. Just be ready to get lucky or have your wallet next to you when you want to pull for both right now. The next banner after Vivian is Hugo, and currently, as it looks like right now, Hugo and Vivian don't really synergize well, so don't really plan on getting both and have them on the same team because they might not be that effective compared to having other team comps instead. If you really like Hugo more than Vivian, then maybe hold off on him instead because he's actually a pretty strong character out of the box. He's an ice attacker and he pairs really well with stun units, especially if you have Lycon. So if you already have Lycon from failing your 50-50s or getting lucky on standard banners, then you're already halfway there for a Hugo team. If you've ever wanted a male Ellen character, well, now's your chance. Lighter will also be rerunning alongside Hugo soon, and Lighter is an excellent stun unit, especially if you have a fire or ice unit on the team. So if both Hugo and Lighter sound really good, you should probably skip out on Vivian because she's not a high priority pull, especially with Lighter. He's a support unit, stun unit. They're really, really good, and I would highly prioritize stun units or support units more so than a DPS character. So far for reruns for characters released before 2.0, we've had a rerun for everyone except for Yanagi, Haramasa, Caesar, and Miyabi. If any of these four interests you, then maybe hold off on Vivian. Out of all the characters in ZZZ, Miyabi is an absolute must-pick character. If I'm not wrong, she is the strongest character in Triple Z, and she also has so much raw power up front. And on top of all of that, she's an Anomaly unit, so she'll surprise you when her build-up damage pops off. Now, unfortunately for us, we have no confirmation whether Miyabi's returning sooner or later. There's no date yet. So I advise maybe setting aside a little bit of pull funding so that way when she comes out, you get her, and rather not have your pants caught down when she catches you by surprise. Sounds really weird, I'm sorry for saying that. Caesar is an excellent support unit. She's undoubtedly one of the best characters in the game right now for me as well, I would say. And my motto is to always go with support units because they can be flexed into many different team comps. And if you like to use different teams, then just know that Caesar can be flexed into a lot of different positions. Yanagi is beautiful, I love her, and I recommend her if you want to run Anomaly teams. And as for Haramasa, I have no comment. My Haramasa's level 1, so if you really like him, go for it, I guess. I think he's pretty decent as a character. Now, with all that said, for all the currently existing characters released, we don't know exactly all the details about the characters coming out in 2.0. And just like any other gacha game, most likely a lot of characters in 2.0 might outclass a lot of the ones released in the 1.0 versions. But have no fear, the devs of ZZZ have said that they want to try to make old characters relevant. So there's a chance that your Vivian will be a really strong unit in the future, so don't fret too much if you pull for her now and might regret it later. Overall, Vivian is a really fun character to play. She's more of an offensive defensive off-field support unit than a mainstay one, so don't expect her to stay on the field as, say, you know, Miyabi, Jane, or anything like that. If you're looking to use her as your main character on the field with minimal swaps, then just know her damage won't be as high compared to other Anomaly units. In an Anomaly team, she will be pumping out damage, but think of her damage more like poison damage. Once you have her stacks ready, switch to another Anomaly unit, use their EX special, and then slowly start to see their damage go down faster than normal because you'll be surprised by the amount of damage she does when you're not looking. Vivian is undoubtedly one of my favorite characters of all time in the game right now. She's just downright adorable. I love her. But if I had to say, is she a huge priority must-pull character? Probably not. But once again, if you really like her design or want to rock an Anomaly team, she could be a really great option, but if not, skip out on her. Not only is 2.0 coming out, but the anniversary is right around the corner. And if history repeats itself, a lot of gacha games release an anniversary unit on top of their anniversary, which tends to be a broken unit. The anniversary for Zenless is about less than 3 months from now, so if that worries you about the amount of pulls that you want for the future broken anniversary unit, save up right now and probably skip out on Vivian. Not only that, but once again, whatever character is going to be released in 2.0 may just outclass Vivian entirely. I hope my video helped you decide on what to do when it comes to picking Vivian or not. Ultimately, if you really like her, go for her. I think she's a really cool character regardless, and, you know, you'll be happy with your waifu or husbando characters if you pull for them. Meta or not, screw the meta, honestly, in my opinion. Thank you for watching, good luck on your pulls, see you guys in the next video.